Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're dissecting a really unique digital product and the genuinely fascinating pricing strategy running under the hood. We're looking at a product called 25 blog refresh checklists for more visitors. And look, we aren't just going to read the marketing copy here. We're going to put those flashy claims right up against a totally independent investigative review of its actual sales mechanics. It is a brilliant case study in both content marketing and digital sales funnels.
So, let's start with a universal problem. If you've ever managed a website, you definitely know this pain. What exactly do you do with those older blog posts that used to pull in great traffic but have slowly gone totally flat? You know the ones I'm talking about. They just sit there in your archive, maybe getting a trickle of impressions, but they've completely lost their momentum.
Well, that brings us to a really solid, widely discussed strategy called content refreshing, which is basically the core concept we're exploring today. The whole idea is that instead of constantly grinding away, writing brand new content from a blank page, you take a much smarter route. You go back and update your older content with sharper headlines, fixed links, maybe some current examples, all to recover those lost search rankings. It's about getting more mileage out of what you've already built.
Okay, really quick, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the blog refresh strategy, then peek inside the checklist vault. After that, we'll look at the PLR resale angle, evaluate the product, uncover a pricing anomaly, which is wild, and then finally deliver our final verdict.
All right, jumping right into Section 1, the blog refresh strategy, and how this product actually tackles fixing content decay.
So the sales page for this product hits the nail on the head when it comes to why older posts lose their steam. Free traffic quietly slips away when your posts suffer from these silent killers. We're talking generic headlines that just don't grab attention anymore, outdated screenshots, broken internal links, stale examples, or calls to action that literally don't match the topic now. Even things like missed FAQ opportunities or intros that just feel, well, old. This product is targeting bloggers who absolutely recognize these symptoms but kind of freeze up because they just don't know what to fix first.
Moving right along to Section 2, inside the checklist vault. This is where we see how the product attempts to actually solve that decay issue with a structured, done-for-you solution.
Now, looking at the whole package, you get a really comprehensive bundle. It's not just some random list. You get the 25 individual checklists, sure, but you also get a Start Here guide so you aren't overwhelmed, a blog refresh tracker to log your progress, a bunch of bonus tools, and the PLR license. It's really set up to be a practical grab-and-go toolkit.
And diving a bit deeper, this really shows off the functional interior. Here's a quick excerpt from Checklist 01, which is all about blog headlines. It proves we aren't just looking at vague advice like, hey, write better titles. It's highly systematic. It forces you to ask, would a busy reader instantly understand this topic? It actually instructs you to rewrite the headline 3 different ways, one clear, one benefit-driven, and one curiosity-driven. It's breaking down the entire refresh process into specific, actionable checkpoints.
And rather than reading off all 25 document names because nobody wants that, it's way easier to just look at how they logically group together. They're designed to take you through a real project. You start by hooking the audience with intros, then you tighten up the SEO metadata, improve the overall readability, update those CTAs and monetization links, sprinkle in some trust signals, and finish with a final QA pass before you hit republish. It's a literal start-to-finish workflow.
Okay, Section 3, the PLR resale angle. Let's look at how this isn't just a toolkit, it's actually a business asset. So this package comes with a PLR, or private label rights license. The independent reviewer we're going to talk about in a second explicitly highlights these generous resale rules. Basically, you can completely rebrand the content, edit it, slap your logo on it, and sell the finished product to your own audience. You could even pass those PLR rights along to your buyers. But there are strict limits. You absolutely cannot give away the editable source files for free, you can't claim exclusive ownership, and no, you cannot dump the files on torrent sites. It's a great setup that protects the product's value while giving you a strong commercial asset.
All right, Section 4, evaluating the product. Let's step away from the polished marketing and look at a real-world independent review from Arsh Kapoor over at clickretina.com.
Kapoor actually put this package through its paces to see how it works in the real world. And the biggest takeaway? The real value isn't just possessing 25 documents. It's treating the whole thing as a repeatable system. You pick a declining post, right? But you update the click-through hooks first, because honestly, those affect everything else downstream. Then you move into deeper engagement, SEO tweaks, and monetization, finally logging it all in the tracker. It transforms a really vague chore into a standardized, easy-to-follow process.
Which brings us to Section 5, the pricing anomaly uncovered.
This is honestly where this explainer gets super fascinating, as we track the live checkout mechanics against what the marketing promised.
So the sales page hypes this up as a dime sale, which means the price is supposed to start low and tick upward with every single sale. Well, to verify this, the reviewer actually took 2 separate dashboard snapshots over a 24-hour period, one on July 14th and the next on July 15th. And with that data, this review flips from a basic product overview into a full-on investigation of live pricing mechanics.
And we actually have the proof right here. You can see the front-end live price climbing up to $3.15, right alongside a checkout bump offer, which, by the way, is a promo pack designed specifically to help you resell the checklists. But the real story is what actually happened between those 2 snapshots.
Get this, the front-end price went up by 20 cents, exactly like they promised. But here is the crazy plot twist. That bump offer, it unexpectedly dropped by $2. It went from $9 on the 14th down to $7 on the 15th. So in a sales funnel that is explicitly built to get more expensive over time, the total cost actually dropped from $11.95 to $10.15. It's a completely bizarre, unexplained pricing anomaly.
Finally, Section 6, the final verdict. How on earth are we supposed to navigate a purchase when the numbers are literally shifting beneath our feet?
Look, the vendor might just be manually split testing conversion rates on that bump offer behind the scenes. But Kapoor maintains strict journalistic distance here, just reporting the data as a wild plot twist in the funnel, and his ultimate advice is totally spot on. Quote, treat every price in this review as a moment-in-time reading rather than a fixed number. The core strategy of the product? Absolutely sound. But if you decide to buy it, you have to check the live checkout page, because those numbers are specifically designed to move, and clearly, not always in the direction you'd expect.
So, armed with all this knowledge, the mechanics of structured content refreshing, the sneaky value of PLR assets, and the wild reality of dynamic pricing funnels, you have to ask yourself, are your dead, underperforming blog posts worth the effort of a strategic overhaul? And if they are, what's stopping